in the forgotten village of Duskmere, nestled deep in a hollow where the sun barely kissed the ground and mist lingered like ancient breath. There was a legend unspoken for generations, a tale of the Watcher, a presence older than time, cloaked in sentient shadow that observed, waited, and fed on the unraveling minds of those who dared acknowledge it. When 29-year-old Evelyn Crowhurst returned to her ancestral home, the crumbling Crowhurst manor left to her by her estranged grandfather, she dismissed the warnings from the villagers as quaint superstition, tales of a darkness that watches, whispered only in candlelight and never near windows. But from the moment she crossed the threshold of the manor, she began to feel it, a low hum behind her eyes, a crawling presence behind mirrors and in the corners of rooms where light dared not settle. The darkness never moved, yet it was always changing, subtly reconfiguring the world around her, twisting memories, distorting voices, and playing cruel tricks, like the scent of lavender from her childhood suddenly present in sealed rooms, or hearing her dead sister calling from the walls in the exact tone of voice she used the night she drowned, or watching old portraits shift their gaze slowly toward her whenever she glanced away, but always looking normal again when studied directly. As nights grew longer and time lost all rhythm, Evelyn began to discover letters her grandfather had written, frantic, excessive pages scrawled with warnings and drawings of a vast, eyeless form hovering just beyond human perception, a being, not of malice, but of ancient hunger, drawn to grief and secrecy like a parasite. The letters described how the Watcher arrived whenever someone saw what they shouldn't, when grief was buried, not grieved, when trauma festered in silence, and how Crowhurst Manor had been built deliberately on a blind spot in reality, a fracture between dimensions where such a thing could cross over and dwell just beyond the veil, always watching. Soon Evelyn's days and nights blended into an endless gray, where sleep offered no relief. Dreams became surveillance reels of her own memories corrupted, and she began to notice her reflection blinking at odd intervals out of sync with her own face, until one night, staring into the tall mirror in her grandfather's study, she watched her reflection smile while she remained still, and in that instant she understood. The darkness had already taken root inside her, puppeting her image, siphoning her soul through every secret she refused to voice, every emotion she swallowed in silence. Desperate, she tried to leave, but the manor wouldn't let her. Doors turned to walls, windows opened to brick, and voices she once loved now cried behind locked doors, asking her to stay. Because the darkness wanted her alone, devoured by isolation, consumed by the unresolved, until she too would become another echo inside its endless archive of haunted lives. Eventually, the villagers noticed the manor lights never turned off, and a pale woman now stood at the window each evening, watching the town with vacant eyes, unmoving, unblinking. Her skin like parchment and mouth curved in a fixed, unnatural smile, and though they never said her name, every villager knew that the Watcher had claimed another soul, and that the darkness never truly left once it chose its host. It simply waited in silence, watching for the next one to open the door.